and welcome to the program that takes you on a ride in 25 minutes to seek out innovation and creativity that are unique to Africa. On this week's edition, bright minds from across Africa's technology, innovation, and entrepreneurship sectors come together for the Omniverse to exchange knowledge and collaborate to develop shared solutions. Plus, I will be chatting with the CEO of Dillon Apps, Debo Onifade, on the localization of tech solutions in the country and how we can ensure their sustainability. We'll give you more in just a moment. This is Tech Trends, and I am Olayemi Otunuga. Today, billions of mobile devices with extraordinary power are uniting with advancements in robotics, artificial intelligence, nanotechnology, and so much more. It's a fusion of innovation and collaboration for some of the brightest minds in technology, innovation, creativity, and entrepreneurship.
The Omniverse, as he strides majestically,
with a focus on generating practical solutions to the challenges faced by communities, the Omniverse aims to foster digital innovation in Africa.
Adversity is the mother of invention, as we say, and with determination and innovation, we have witnessed the birth of several unicorns and large companies and organizations doing several great things across Nigeria and indeed the world. The driving force behind this growth is the organized innovation ecosystem, and that has gradually been coming together over the last few years. We recognize the potential of Nigeria's digital innovation ecosystem, and we understand that this ecosystem can only grow by breaking down silos and creating strategic win-win partnerships. We co-created this platform as a community and an aggregator of the digital economy for technology, startups, research and academia, regulators, government, media, and digital innovation ecosystem stakeholders. We're also looking at the ripe opportunities that exist. And as we look at the last 25 years, we see a nation that has overcome a lot of challenges, embraced innovation and creativity, and produced world-class organizations and ecosystems.
Structured around overarching themes of building narratives, inspiring creativity, and fostering collaboration, the ultimate aim is to harmonize efforts, thereby creating a space without boundaries.
We are working hard on platforms to bring in all the ecosystem, all the people, incredible people that we have here in Nigeria, to connect and to really enhance the quality and the outreach of their creativity. We are working on TVET and skills to bring really all the futuristic, let's say, skills and capacity that this very sector requires to prosper in Nigeria and globally.
Digital transformation is one of the biggest disruptions of our century and therefore changes all areas of life and the economy. Digitalization will have a huge and transformational impact on our ability to contribute to the social, ecological, economic transformation by spurring innovation, generating efficiencies, and improving services. The same technologies can also threaten privacy, erode security, and fuel inequality. To enable inclusive social, economic, and political participation by citizens, international cooperation must harness the potential of digital transformation, mitigate the risks, and play an active role in shaping the transformation in a human-centered way.
An important discussion that comes to light is decoding Africa's digital narrative and bridging the gap in AI representation.
I've been wanting to see Nigerian and African themed effects on the global stage. So seeing that foreigners are using what we are producing, it's a thing of joy. So there's this sense of fulfillment that, yes, this is made in Nigeria, and they have accepted it, they have actually embraced it. So they are the ones that actually created this technology. Now, technology is actually the equalizer. It's just about you thinking and then making good use of it. So I actually made good use of it and it's working, and they're actually allowing us push our kind of content, push our culture, promote our culture through those means. So I'm actually happy that's the case, and that there's no limit to how far you can go. There's no limit to how far your effect can go. So from Nigeria, you're creating something in your room, and all over the world, they are using it.
You're capturing every angle of where you are, and that is being stitched together to create that immersive experience. So like America said just now, you're creating emotions, not just by watching, but now you are actually experiencing it. And that can be used for preservation, culture preservation as well. For artificial intelligence, all I use is my laptop and other tools like Photoshop and the likes. For film, the traditional cameras. For art, my iPad and my stylus pen. So it depends on what I'm trying to create. That's what I said, different mediums of expression to get a particular result.
Budding entrepreneurs also get a chance to showcase their groundbreaking ideas at a startup pitch. With each pitch, these entrepreneurs are closer to turning their dreams into reality and making a meaningful impact in the startup ecosystem. The Omniverse isn't just about individual brilliance. It's about harnessing collective energies to shape the future of African technology.
Tech tips: how to use Google Gemini app on Android. Here's how to make Gemini AI your default virtual assistant on your Android phone. Google recently updated its Bard chatbot, renaming it Gemini, and introduced a new app for Android users. With the Gemini app, you can set Gemini AI as your default assistant on your Android device. This means that once set up, Gemini will respond to your questions when you say, "Hey Google," or long press your home button. Google has also unified all the features of Duet AI in Google Workspace under the Gemini brand. They've also released Gemini Ultra 1.0, their most advanced AI model, to the public. Here's a detailed step-by-step guide on how to use the new Google Gemini app on your Android phone. Step 1. Go to Google Play Store on your phone. Type Google Gemini in the search bar and find the app. Tap on the Install button next to the app icon. Step 4. Wait for the app to download and install on your phone. You can now explore features of the Gemini app. Gemini can assist you with various tasks such as creating content, learning new skills, or simplifying your phone usage. You can use voice, text, or photo inputs to ask Gemini for help. Enter your query in the box that says type, talk, or share a photo and tap on the mail icon. You can also choose a suggestion from the top of the app. Meanwhile, Google is rolling out the Gemini app in phases. After its initial launch in the United States, Google's next-generation AI assistant, Gemini, is now accessible in select regions across Latin America, Africa, Asia-Pacific, and Canada. And that's our tech tip for the week. Did you know the QWERTY keyboard layout, which is the standard on most computers, can actually slow down your typing speed? This might seem surprising, but it was originally designed for old typewriters, not for modern computers. Back in the day, typewriters were notorious for jamming when people typed too quickly. To prevent this, the QWERTY keyboard layout was created. There are actually two theories to this. The first one starts to make sense when you look at manual typewriters. It intentionally separated commonly used letters to slow down typists and prevent jams. So if you type too fast, the keys wouldn't collide as often. Another theory suggests that telegraph operators played a role in designing QWERTY. They needed a layout that made it easier and faster to decipher Morse code. Despite these origins, there are actually other faster alternatives like the Dvorak layout. It rearranges the keys to making typing more efficient. You can switch to this layout in your computer settings or even buy a keyboard specifically designed for it. So even though QWERTY is the standard, there are options out there to improve your typing speed if you're willing to give them a try. How much do you really know about the tech world? Put your knowledge to the test with these trivia questions. What word is often abbreviated as FN on a keyboard? Formula, function, fusion, fundament. And the answer is function. What popular operating system launched in 1991 also has its own mascot, Tox the Penguin? Options: Red Hat, Windows, Mac OS, Linux. The answer is Linux. Which American tech company started with its founder's idea to rent out an air mattress in their San Francisco living room to travelers hoping to avoid the city's high cost of rent? Options: Uber, Airbnb, Hostelworld, HomeAway. And the answer is Airbnb. Dolly the Ew's birth in 1996 and subsequent life helped prove the viability of both scientific and technological process. Options: cloning, bioprinting, genetic engineering, transplantation. And the answer is cloning. Although the exact origin is unknown, the piece of technology and calculating tool used beans or stones moved in grooves of sand to perform calculations. Although computers have mostly replaced it, this tool is still in use for teaching arithmetic to children in many parts of the world. What is it? Options: cipher wheel, tally stick, abacus, geoboard. And the answer is abacus.
In Nigeria, tech enthusiasts are busy tailoring solutions to fit the country's unique needs. From the bustling cities to remote villages, there are local innovation heroes adapting and developing tech solutions that can be localized. Now, open source projects also play a crucial role in fostering cooperation and knowledge sharing within the ecosystem. Developers can come together to tackle these challenges head-on, making tech innovation a real team effort. Now, Debo Onifade, the CEO of Dillon Apps, talks about the localization of tech solutions in the country and how we can ensure their sustainability. Nigeria faces, unique challenges in areas like healthcare, infrastructure, and even agriculture. How can we tailor tech to make a real impact on these sectors?
Thank you so much. I think first we have to think Nigeria. Every time we're thinking tech, think Nigeria first. And let me talk about healthcare. We talk a lot about data, analysis, artificial intelligence in Nigeria. And I always ask this question. We have not even talked about data acquisition. Why is China the number one or top two AI country in the world? Because of very low privacy laws, and they have data of almost everybody, and data helps them to improve on AI. Nigeria needs to, right now we don't even know our population. We need to do better acquiring data, know a lot more about our health challenges, agric. So we need to do better in the area of acquiring the appropriate data, and then we can analyze. I think nowadays we are jumping the gun. We're trying to go to the university instead of starting from primary school. If you talk about education also, people talk about so many big equipment, software, and I say, if you look at the East Europeans and Southeast Asians that have excelled in education, it starts from primary school. People talk more about university education, and I think we need to talk about improving curriculum, even in the primary school, in the high school, JSS. We need to, not just software, but in traditional engineering, we need to use every tool we can use to improve the quality of curriculum at that stage. What do you need in the primary school? You don't need a lot. You don't need an expensive PC, you just need basic PCs. Mm-hmm. So sometimes we should simplify what we're trying to do. I think we try to create sophisticated solutions that are sometimes not required. So I would say we should think Nigeria and less of international every time we're creating solutions.
We've seen a lot of local innovation heroes, coming out to create solutions they believe would address specific local needs of Nigerians. Now, in your experience, would you say these innovations have made significant difference?
I would say no, because when we talk about changes or differences in Nigeria, especially when it comes to tech innovations, it's usually limited to Lagos and maybe one or two other states. For us to say that the country is influenced positively, we have to think the whole country. And like I always said, when you talk about unemployment in Nigeria, it's more of low-skill unemployment. The highly skilled people will always sort themselves out, either in Lagos or travel abroad, Abuja. If we're not creating solutions that are, solving food problems, that are solving agricultural problems, solving healthcare problems, that are creating jobs, especially amongst the low-skilled staff, we'll be chasing shadows. So let's talk about fintech, for example. A lot has happened in the fintech space. People just come and copy solutions because Paystack is excelling. Doesn't mean do we need 100 fintech companies in Nigeria? I would say no. So I think what happens in Nigeria is that a few companies succeed in creating some innovations, and rather than other people innovating in other areas that matter to the economy, you have everybody coming to the same industry, copying, just modifying a little bit, and in the next few years, you just realize that 80% of them eventually fold up because the market size itself is not large enough to accommodate the number of companies coming to that field. So when you're dealing with a small market size, at the end of the day, 80% of them will not survive. And so I think that we have to diversify in terms of innovation. We have to innovate in multiple areas, in finance, in insurance, in telecom, in healthcare. The innovation, we have to diversify and make sure it affects the common man.
I think that we have a number of innovators with original solutions that are addressing the needs in these sectors, but the spotlight isn't just on them. How can we support them, to scale up?
So yeah, I've always believed that the state governments, not the federal this time, have to do a lot more to help, especially those innovators that are not popular, like you said, especially in the states. And so for me, there's no way you can succeed without having collaborations with government, especially subnational governments. In some ways, they don't need money. The innovators don't need money. They just need opportunities. I hear of different, people talk about different businesses that, in hinterlands, Ogun State, Abeokuta, villages, and you hear about this business making 200% margin, 300% margin. all I need is if I get government support, not money, this I can scale up. Sometimes I'm asking them, how can you scale up? You're doing this and you're making maybe 500,000, 200%, 1.5. If you can scale it up to a point where you're doing, even tech is not making 200% in Lagos. So if you're making 200% margin, what do you need to scale up where you're making 5 million times 3, that's 15 million, that's against 1.5 million. And by the time the person is describing the challenges, I just nod my head and wish the state government can be more supportive. So I think the first is the subnationals. State governments especially need to do a lot more than the federal government in their states. But also I think that innovators also should think more about what will immediately add value. If you think about disruptive innovation that will add value in the next 5 years or 3 years, that's not really needed right now. It's going to be difficult for anybody to take a chance on you. Disruptive technology is great, but most times you can create innovation by solving today's problem.
Definitely, the governments cannot do everything, right? So, which is why we need investors, to support these innovators. And that brings me to my next question, which is about sustainability, right? How can we ensure that these localized innovations are sustainable in the long run? So
we have to think beyond money. And that's why I said people need to think about how can I make money tomorrow? If I solve today's problem, I have a higher chance of earning revenue immediately than if I think in a futuristic way. And I also think that people are more interested. I'm getting, from my experience in Lagos, there are more opportunities, for innovators from private sector. Not necessarily investment. People are still skeptical to drop cash, but a lot of collaboration. I hear of people combining forces, joint ventures. Some private sector, some clients will be willing to take risk, give you order, and give you purchase order to confirm. When you deliver, they're able to pay you. So I think people need to be more creative about how to get funding. Funding doesn't even have to be cash. Many times it can be collaboration with people. Free cash from the US or from Europe is no longer there. We won't get as much as we got in the last 20 years. And so we have to be more creative about collaboration, partnerships that can give us opportunities rather than cash.
Now, talking about collaborations and partnerships, let's switch gears now to open source. How do you believe open source projects can foster collaboration and knowledge sharing within the Nigerian tech ecosystem?
Yeah, for viewers, open source relates to free software, on the internet. It's making the application available, and if you want to use it, you have to modify, customize to meet your needs. Unfortunately, the challenge with that in Nigeria is a developer thinks mostly about how I want to be a millionaire very soon. I want the foreign job. They're working with the bank in Nigeria, making money. They want to jump out for that foreign dollar job within the next 3 months. And so we encourage them to be calm. You will improve your skill when you stay longer. And then to talk about open source, it takes time. If you're busy working 8 to 7 or getting home late, you must be very diligent to say, well, I'm going to contribute to this project, and I'm going to contribute significantly to this project. Now, if you're very comfortable, for the older ones, very comfortable, married, you're okay with what you're earning, you want to stay there for a while, and you're able to create a few days a week, fantastic. But for the ones that are still jumping around, as you know, many of them are, to be patient, to think about a solution that is not foreign. And again, like I said, they're also futuristic. They think about foreign solutions because, again, you'll be more visible to potential employers if you're adding value in an international project. But when it's a local project, you have to be selfless. You have to consider that you may not get any benefits because the big guys may not look at you there. You will be adding value much more than getting value. A lot of people go to open source for the purpose of benefiting, and it's not bad. I want to contribute because I want somebody to see my profile. I want somebody to give me a call. So that's good. Nothing bad about that. However, for what you're describing, which I highly subscribe to, I think is a wonderful idea. people will have to be selfless. You have to contribute without thinking so much about benefit, because you might not benefit anything. You have to think about the country and think, okay, healthcare, is there an open source we can create for the health, for the healthcare industry, for the agric industry that's going to add value to the country. Think about your employer, your country, not just about yourself all the time. Because when you think about the country and your employer, ultimately you will make a lot of progress.
It's been an engaging conversation with you, Debo Onifade, CEO of Dillon Apps. Thank you so much for sharing your time with us on
Thank you so much.
And it's a wrap on the show this week. Thank you for watching. Remember, if you are interested in keeping track of how tech-savvy innovators are crafting homegrown solutions using technology in the country, well, keep watching Tech Trends, because we will continue to showcase them for you, from startups to big techs and, of course, inventful thinkers. Also, if you missed any parts of the show, you can always catch up on the Channels TV YouTube accounts where we have all of our episodes. And I encourage you to watch, share, and like your favorite editions. For Tech Trends, I'm Olayemi Odunuga. Bye for now.